Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? It's proclaimed the greatest radio show.
Welcome, fans, to another episode of The Spread. I'm your host, Jim Sella, in studio with Jay Dash. We're going to do a quick Steelers segment for you. The Steelers traded for cornerback Brandon Boykin from the Philadelphia Eagles. The trade was for a conditional 4th or 5th rounder. It'll be a 4th rounder if Boykin plays 60% or more of the snaps, and a 5th rounder if he plays less than 60% of the snaps. But I like this trade. Boykin, to me, is instantly the best corner on the Steelers. He's 5'10", 185 pounds, so he doesn't have great size. But, Dash, me and you both agree that you don't always have to be the biggest guy to be a good corner. You just got to be able to tackle well and possess some type of ball skills.
Correct.
This is his 4th year. He'll be a free agent after the season, so that could be a little bit of a thing for the Steelers. He played 3 years for the Eagles, had 120 tackles, 1 sack, 32 passes defended, 7 picks, 4 forced fumbles, and 1 touchdown over that time. Probably better stats than any of our corners in the last 3 years.
Well, I don't know. Probably not, actually, because Willie Gay last season had a few picks for touchdowns, actually. And if you look here, Boykin only had 1 pick last season. And he did play well in 2013. But outside of that, I mean, yeah, I'm going to say he's an upgrade to Antoine Blake, man, but I'm not ready to say he's the best corner on this team already. Look, he was the 3rd corner on the Philadelphia Eagles, who are a terrible pass defense last season, actually. They were 31st in the league against the pass. So you could say he played the best out of their corners, maybe. I'm not even so sure I would go that far, but if he's their best corner, man, he would be on the outside. And actually, they brought in Byron Maxwell from Seattle this season, so
they actually drafted Eric Rowe, too, a guy we wanted the Steelers to look at in the 2nd round. They got him right before we picked.
Yeah, please believe. So they brought in those 2 corners, and that actually put Boykin to 5th on the Eagles' depth chart. Now, I do believe they are going to be better in the secondary this season, adding those 2 players. So I like the guy, but listen, if he was the best corner on his team, he would be starting on the outside.
He's one of just 11 corners to play at least 50% of his team's snaps in the slot over the last 2 years. I think his skill set just is more of a slot corner than an outside guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Your 2 best corners, man, they're going to be on the outside. And he does play well in the slot. And like I said, he's definitely better than Antoine Blake, and that improves this secondary. But if he was definitely the best corner, I mean, the best corner isn't going to handle your number 3, the other team's number 3 receiver during the game.
The one thing that really excites me is if Golson can somehow get it together. I mean, he doesn't have to start day 1, but play well, early on. Having 4 good corners, I mean, this is depending on Allen, whether he does anything, which we
and
both
Willie
believe.
Gay, too. I'm not going to
Willie's always been solid, though.
But he scares me at number 2.
Out of
See, now, I could agree with that Boykin is maybe as good as Willie Gay. They're similar type players.
Who is our best corner.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Willie Gay, well, no. I don't know, man. We'll have to see with Cortez Allen, too. I mean, our corners ain't very great, but Willie Gay was better as a number 3 type corner, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree. Willie Gay's way better in the slot and the outside. Last year, he just got, not lucky, but he had a big year with those
he
pick
came up with the
sixes.
big plays.
But if he wouldn't have had 3 pick sixes, he didn't even have that great of a season.
But that's what I'm saying. Boykin, it's not hands down he's our best corner. I mean, we just got a couple okay corners in here is really what we have.
Well, Boykin already making waves as a Steeler. He said, Kelly is uncomfortable around grown men of our culture. He can't relate, and that makes him uncomfortable. He likes to have total control over everything, and he don't like to be uncomfortable. Players excel when you let them naturally be who they are, and in my experience, that hasn't been important to him, but you guys have heard this before. That's a direct quote from Boykin about Chip Kelly, and I guess Boykin felt a little snubbed when he left there. He really liked it in Philly. From what I've heard, the Steelers have been trying to get him since before the draft even, and we just finally put the asking price where Philadelphia would accept it. Really, I think what happened is Philly has seen enough from their other corners that now they feel Boykin is expendable, so they finally decided to give in. Because all we're giving them is a 4th or a 5th rounder. Not like they were negotiating some crazy deal, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You bring in Byron Maxwell, who was one of the best corners in all football last season. You drafted Eric Rowe in the second round. They have this Walter Thurman and Ja'Cory Shepard out there who they both like more than Boykin. So really, they were just trying to get rid of Boykin, but it's still an upgrade for the Steelers, and it's a big add here for coming in close to the season here.
Just makes you be able to like breathe a little easier, a little easier. And then another upside to Boykin, I know he didn't have any kick returns last year, but he has had 54 kick returns for 1,242 yards over his career. That's a 23-yard average. He has 40 20-plus yard returns in his career. That is probably more than the entire Steelers roster completely. And if he does figure in as the third corner, he's more likely to have a shot at returning kicks than if he figures in as one of the starting guys. So
Please believe,
he could at least help us a little bit, because Wheaton was the only one who had any success at all doing it last year. Maybe Dre Archer finally figures it out, but until I see Archer do something, I pretty much believe he doesn't exist on the roster.
I tell you what, though, I kind of do like Wheaton there just because he doesn't do exactly what I want him to do on the offensive side yet. Now, this could be the season where he steps up and becomes that guy, but I like the addition of Wheaton getting some returns, too, so he gives him a little bit more value.
Yeah, you always have two guys that are kind of back there, though, so I would feel comfortable with Wheaton and Boykin back there as your one.
Dre Archer better step up, though.
I really, and I hate to say this, but I just feel like he's going to be one of those guys that just end up on the wayside. He'll have another bad year.
I'm not going to believe it. I like Dre Archer, man.
I like him, too. He's just not, it's our offense, our field, our conditions in December. Nothing about the Steelers team is conducive to Archer's talents. He is a turf guy somewhere in Indianapolis, maybe St. Louis with an okay quarterback, something like that. He just
I think he'd play well in our slot, man. We'll have to see. Maybe it depends on what Wheaton does this season. If Wheaton doesn't step up and take it to the next level, maybe you will see Archer get some reps at the slot position.
I think Archer would really have to impress to beat out Wheaton. I think Wheaton.
No, I'm not saying he's going to beat him.
Well, I know, but I'm saying Wheaton would have to really suck to lose the third wide receiver spot, I think.
Well, I mean, if he does what he does last season, he really didn't do too much, in my opinion.
He's never had a full offseason to work on being a slot.
That's why I said he has to take it to the next
receiver.
level. If he keeps his production the same as last season, I wouldn't mind seeing them throw Dre Archer in there or someone else that steps up and has a decent season. CJ Goodwin?
Maybe. They released Michael Agnew and somebody else, another nobody, to try to make room for Boykin and another running back. I don't know. That Schuerman or whatever. We talked about him in a running back
they
segment.
cut him?
Well, they put him on the waive non-injury list, and then they released Agnew. But anyway, back to Boykin, because we're getting a little off track here. As a 1-2-3, Allen, Boykin, Gay, not in that order, but those three guys, I'm so much happier about that than Allen, Blake, and Gay.
I'm still completely worried. Boykin's a good ad. I'm not going to say he's not at all, but that doesn't make me think this secondary is going to be good now or something like that.
Oh, he's no Darrelle Revis, but he's better than
and let's
probably
not forget,
anybody, if not all but Gay.
Since you brought up Darrelle Revis, a lot of corners, when they go from one team to the next, it doesn't always turn out as well as you hope, too. Look at Revis when he went to Tampa Bay. Now, I know he was coming off of an injury with the Jets the year before, but in 2013 with Tampa Bay, he wasn't that great, and then he went to New England, and Belichick always makes his players work out. But, it works that way for a lot of corners. That's why I like what the Jets did this season, man. They brought back Darrelle Revis and Antonio Cromartie, who both have played there and played well before for that team. That's why I like that ad. Boykin, we'll have to see how it works out, but I do think it's an upgrade. But, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and say the secondary is good now.
Well, last year, quarterback's QB rating against Boykin was only like a 61-something rating, so that's pretty good. And real quick before we go here, Chris Harris is the only other slot-heavy corner to have a lower quarterback rating than Boykin over the last 2 years, and he just recently signed a 5-year, $42.5 million deal with $24 million in guarantees. With all the money that we have going to Cortez Allen, this is Boykin's last year on his deal. I don't know if we're going to bring him back next year. I don't know if they're going to give him and Allen that kind of deal at corner. So this may be a 1-year rental type deal. And only giving up a 4th or a 5th round pick, I still wouldn't be upset about that.
No, I could see him having a good season, though. And you've seen them before take their third corner who plays in the nickel and dime and turn them into their first or second corner.
That's what happened with Allen, and it just hasn't worked out so well this time. But that's it. That's all we got for you. Thanks, Dash, for coming in. Thank you, fans, for listening. You guys can follow us on Twitter at bet_the_spread. You can follow me on Twitter at betjimthewin. Check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/betthespread. Check out the website at thespreadnews.simplesite.com. Keep coming to the YouTube page. Subscribe, click like. And we're going to be going to Steelers training camp at least 1 or 2 days next week. So keep listening for that and keep checking the Facebook page for picks.